What's up, guys? This is episode 15 of Clash of Cosmos. No Dill today, just Andrew, Dari, and I. Um, Given that it's a Galaxy podcast, LA based, we can't just gloss over what's going on in LA right now. We're not going to go too in depth about it on the pod, but what's going on in LA and just around the country, a lot of it is destroying our community, and footy is for the community. So I'm going to keep it brief like that. We are going to be posting some ways to help out and get involved on our socials, so keep an eye out for that. But let's just start with Galaxy. How are you guys feeling? We didn't have a game. Won our first game and then got hit with one of the only teams to not play in the league.
I think it's good. I think it'll give us some rest, some kind of time to settle and get our heads behind us. It's better going into that off a win than a loss. So,
No, of course, but usually with momentum, you'd like them to keep going to build that momentum to get that first win of the season, and then to have that break right after is a little. It kills the vibes in a easy sense.
We haven't had momentum in so long. I forgot what to do.
Exactly.
No, I guess it's also good that it gave us time to get Marco Royce back, which is probably something we'll be talking about. But it seems like they used their time pretty well. There was a scrimmage, 11v11. Sounds like there was some media availability today. Vanny mentioned that he didn't talk about who they played, but they played somebody. Peck got 2 goals, set up another. He said that I'm back. So if he's feeling confident, Marco Royce is back. We may not have that same momentum, but I think there'll be some energy on Saturday.
And that's another thing too with someone like Peck. Maybe we wanted him to have that break, to step away from the pitch for a little bit, and go back to being that dominant player that he was last year. Of course, he's still been good in times for us this season, but if we want to continue winning games and take this momentum, then I think he needs to be a major part in that.
Definitely. And if we're thinking about, I feel like his confidence is something we've talked about a lot. He's definitely had to, carry a lot of the burden, but so many times, especially in recent games, we've talked about how he goes to shoot and it just feels like he's shooting at 50% power, or he places it in the middle of the goal. So for him to get some confidence, maybe he can start lashing at the ball a little bit more, striking it with a bit more confidence. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, but yeah, if this time gave him some time to, center himself. He's with this group in LA, Atletas do Cristo in LA. Is basically a Brazilian Christian group. His faith is really big for him. He's usually at those meetings. Today he posted it was his girlfriend, and so he got to focus on the things that matter to him. If we're thinking about his headspace, I think it was good for him at least. So that should be good as well. If we have another one of our DPs, scoring the ball, contributing, that's only going to help us.
Yeah. Dari, you got any?
I mean, I gotta get my thoughts right. That was kind of all I had to think about it before, but I mean, I agree with Andrew for the most part. Just like if we can kind of get that, seems like we're carrying a bit of momentum, but just need to see how it translates into our next game.
Definitely. And here, let me get this up for us real quick. But there are some injuries for us and them going into the next game. Surreal being suspended is the big one for me, I think. But
it's definitely a winnable game. I feel like either way.
Oh yeah, super winnable. But I don't want that much. Is the thing. Not the Galaxy, but St. Louis. I don't know if either of you do, but they have about.
I mean, I know they beat us 3-0 at home.
Oh my god, this took way too long to get up.
They're right above us on the table, 14 into last, which isn't good either.
5 injuries for them.
Oh, that's a lot.
Compared to ours, we knew who was going to be out for this game.
I know that Lewin is one of their like main attackers. He's like their cam.
Okay.
So that's a big loss.
This is huge.
I don't think they've been scoring a lot in recent games. I did take a look at their form. I don't think I saw anything higher than 2 in their favor. And again, they haven't won. Besides us, they won recently against San Jose. I think that was a 2-1. But they won a month or 2 ago against Seattle. Yeah. So against other, sort of I guess Seattle's not struggling as much, but against other Western Conference teams, not exactly in full strength. And when you think about our game, that 3-0 against us, yeah, it was 3-0, but I remember feeling so good after those first 45 minutes until, Bitch goes ahead and crashes into Maya. They drop a ball, and then they make some mistakes to give away those other 2 goals. It feels like another gifted result. And that was the story, I think, at that time of the season. We just couldn't stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Whereas, again, this Galaxy, not fresh off of their first win, but still, we just got our first win. And the play style in the past couple of games, it's been passing the eye test a lot more. We have Mikovic, who seems a lot more confident as well. I think that's going to be major. Marco Royce, I'm not sure if he played in that first game against St. Louis, but he's in some good form as well. Hopefully he's feeling fully healthy. But yeah, lots of positive signs that it's a different Galaxy side this time around. And if we're thinking about St. Louis, who are still, kind of struggling, not really getting much in the goal department, definitely conceding, it feels open for either side. I think is the best possible matchup. Right after a 2-week break, you want to go ahead and get that second win in a row. You want to play the next weakest team and sort of assert yourself over them. A win there, all of a sudden, I think we're 1 point behind St. Louis. So if we're going to be climbing, that's what you got to do. One team at a time, overtake them. And this is one of those 6-pointer games that we definitely need to win. But yeah, with everything around it, it feels good. We look at Edwin Cerrillo there on the injury list. A couple months ago, that might have been a major blow. But now Edwin Cerrillo is starting to look a lot more confident. I do maybe worry a little bit just because he's learned the double pivot role maybe. Now he kind of has to learn a new role. But he's had 2 weeks to sort of work on that, to feel a little bit more comfortable. So, again, there's all these just little positive signs that maybe don't mean so much, but when, again, we talk about confidence, momentum, we need every little thing going our way. So, yeah. I echo the same things you guys. I feel pretty good about it.
I mean, and in terms of confidence, not only did we get our first win of the season, but we also got our first clean sheet of the season. And I know we touched on it last episode briefly, but that's huge.
Yeah.
For our back line, who was so good, especially at home last season, to have this in the back of their head up until last game that, oh, we're probably going to concede, it's not helpful. And we did concede every fucking game until last game.
It did look shaky last game, I will say.
Shaky is okay. Sometimes we have to get away with the shaky one, but to actually concede every game is so it destroys you mentally, especially as a defender, to know that you're just not going to do your job, and either you're going to do your job and some bullshit's going to happen. Like every game, it was something that you touched on it, just shooting ourselves in the foot. But to know that that's going to happen and to just have it happen to you are two different things, I think.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Hopefully they beat it out of them at this point. We got it all out the way, and we could just focus on playing well.
I think also this is a pretty big game in terms of just if our season is over or not. I mean, they are kind of. I mean, they have. I just looked at it. The table. They have 14 points. We have 7. So I mean, for us to have like any kind of chance on catching up on them, it's going to take a decent amount of taking points, not decent amount, just taking points off of these teams that are ahead of us and taking points off of the teams that can affect our season. So, I mean, it's kind of a cup final for us. If you want to make it dramatic, we can make it dramatic. If we don't win this game, I feel like our season's definitely over. I honestly don't think we're going to make playoffs either way. But, I mean, if we want to give ourselves any shadow of a doubt, then it's a must win.
Yeah, I want to build on that a little bit. In my last article, I sort of went into the numbers on that. Pretty much we have to win every single home game and get at least 2 points on average on the road. So really, every game is a must win, essentially. The more we win, the much better we do. We have to win everything. And again, it's super unlikely. But it's there, especially if we keep on winning. That's the only thing you can do. But, I mean, let's see it at this point. It does feel like we sort of used up all of the bad luck. I'll agree. You guys mentioned that we got very lucky in that last game to actually win. Tons of lucky breaks against Salt Lake, but that's what we need. We need a lot more of that luck, and it'll take a ton of luck for the remaining 17 games. But technically, it's still there. Technically, it's not quite over. If we lose on the road, it doesn't necessarily end it either. We could still go ahead and win the next game, and we're right back on that average of 2 points on the road. It really matters what we do again on the 4th, again in August. But I mean, it's still there. It's still there. If you want to talk about, hope, it's just barely there, but it's there. So,
I think we're at a good point right now where there's no expectation for us to make playoffs, but obviously in sports, anything is possible. And we've probably all seen crazier stuff. So there's still a chance. So if they don't do it, I'm not going to be too upset. But if we do make it, I'm going to be over the moon. And we'll have the receipts to say that we called it. Because I think we can do it. And I think getting all that bad shit out the way, hopefully we can find a spark in this team and continue to build on this season. And even if we don't make it, all I want to see is some fight out of the guys. Just play for the badge, play for the city, pay for the fans, fill up the seats again, make people want to come to the games. It's been empty. We've been playing like crap. It's improving now, though, and I just want it to continue in that direction so we don't have to regress and go back to pain and suffering after every other year.
Yeah, positional consistency is definitely the key. That's been like the opposite of Vanny's tenure. It's like every other year we're not making playoffs. We're having an historically bad year. It seems to repeat itself over and over. But then we'll go ahead and win MLS Cup or make great playoffs, have a good run. So we talk about Vanny and his renewal. That's obviously been a big talking point in recent weeks, but it's time for him to show that consistency. And again, it all feels like it's there. The past, I want to say 10 games, maybe even, it feels like the wins have been there. It's just one or two things not going our way, that bad luck that we mentioned. But this team can play to beat pretty much everybody. I do still believe that. And it's just about doing it now. Keep on executing like we did in those last games. Get the ball in the back of the net. Get lucky when you need to, but keep a shout out. Just be confident and know that you can beat everybody. I think it's just the message. We've heard it time and time again that these guys are together. They continue to believe each other. And, that's the only way you're going to get these results, to get the wins that we need. So it's good to see. It definitely does feel like there's some good energy. But, let's go ahead and turn that into some more green on that score sheet.
One thing I will say is, like, the beginning of the season up until last game felt like we had, like, some sort of cosmic bad luck energy behind us. It was like every single game we would just some complete freak accident would happen, or we would just shoot ourselves in the foot completely stupidly. Sorry, my cat is screaming. But in saying that, like, last game felt like a bit of a shift. It felt like we should have conceded last game, and we didn't. So, I mean, I think it's going to take a big flip in luck for us to make anything out of this season, but who knows? Maybe it's flipped a coin, it's turned a corner.
Yeah.
Luck going.
And on that topic, like, I know we talked about it last week, or in the review of that last game, but that early save by Mikovic does not happen earlier in the season. And it kind of just goes to what you were saying, is like,
for sure,
that could have happened later in the game. He makes that save. But yeah, that early in the game, for him to stand on his head like that in a 1v1 was huge.
Yeah.
And I think we needed a little bit of that. When the defense is a little shaky, it's always good that the goalie can go do something like that and save them. And it restores a little confidence in the defense. So I feel like that's the major theme that we've been talking about today, is just confidence and momentum. And it's going to be like that for the rest of the season, I'm assuming, just because of the situation that we are in. In terms of momentum, it's hard because we're not going to be going out with the same lineup that we did in the win. We're going to have to adjust some guys. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it'll probably just be a swap for Surreal, but what do you guys think in that sense?
I feel like they've been switching him and Parente pretty like for like around like 60th, 70th minute of games. So we'll probably just see a like for like swap in there.
Yeah. Any other time I'd say the same thing. And I do think that's what's going to end up happening, just looking at the roster. But it worries me a little bit just because I don't think Parente's cameo in that last game that win, it was one of his worst performances, I think, for us this season. We've sung his praises. I know I have, especially. But, just talking
I
about
haven't been convinced with him as of late.
Yeah, it's just that, I don't know, giving the ball away early, continuing to do so, some, reckless challenges after he gave a ball away, which is fine. We need to get stuck in. We needed him to be a little bit of a dog, but it was just it felt like a sloppy game. And again, you just kind of hope these 2 weeks were a little bit of a reset. Okay, let's get back to that beginning of the season form where he was really doing this thing. And with Sanabria, I think now looking a lot stronger, a lot more confident. I do think that could be a good, successful pairing, but we just need to see. I want to see Parente kind of pick it up a little bit. Again, his cameo it looked shaky, made me a little bit nervous.
Yeah,
but I do think that's the best sub to make right now.
I think Surreal is a big part of why Sanabria has been looking so good as of late too. So, just a bit worried about that. Hopefully, it's a non-factor, but yeah, I agree with your take on his recent performances and especially that last one.
Because of that, I guess something else we might want to consider is Diego Fagundes. We've talked about how he gets kind of gassed, maybe not a 90-minute player anymore. But I think somebody who could drop into that midfield. He's done it a couple times this season. Maybe Royce do some of that dirty work for him. And then maybe in the second half, we see Parente come on. That's also, I think, pretty likely. But
I think that would scare me, though. Just the Fagundes Royce in the midfield. Is that what you're thinking?
I mean, also Sanabria, though.
It's a lot of
Royce higher up.
Wait, so what? Sanabria's been. Wait,
Sanabria's been Sanabria.
Yeah, he's been playing a little higher up.
Definitely more than
Fagundes would be playing the 6.
Yeah, that is a little scary.
Fagundes would have no help from Royce because Royce just doesn't have the legs to help him. That's the only thing that scares me is that midfield. It's a lot on Sanabria, who has taken more of an attacking role lately, or just like a box crashing role, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to be careful because he's super aggressive.
I would imagine that changes a little bit, just the instruction.
Of course.
In this game without Surreal, you're going to perform that Surreal role, kind of sit back, be that 6. Let either Fagundes or Parente be more that box crasher, supporting. And then again, just let Royce do his thing, let him roam. So I feel like there will be a little bit of a shift, and that's kind of what I mentioned earlier. Those 2 weeks, I think, were probably for training that, getting him into that position. We feel like he's looked really good because he finally learned that free roaming position, that 8 role alongside Surreal. Now he's going to have to change it. So that was a little bit of a concern in my mind. But again, he's had 2 weeks to work on it. I think he should have adapted by now. He should know. And they had a scrimmage. Hopefully, he looked good to Vanny in that scrimmage. We'll see. But I think he can adapt. So either if it ends up being Fagundes or Parente, I expect them to be a little bit more attacking, a little bit more behind Royce, ahead of him. And I expect to see Sanabria kind of, just putting in those tough tackles.
Totally. I don't have anything else for this upcoming game, and there really is not much to talk about since we didn't play.
We can kind of go over the lack of statement from the LA Galaxy.
We can. I did say that we weren't going to talk about that too much, but
I know, but I mean,
yeah, we can talk about it. LAFC and Angel City FC have both made statements regarding the current ongoings within LA. LA Galaxy have chosen not to make any statement, although they are doing some donations behind the scenes. They have not gone public with any of that stuff.
Should we throw that tweet up?
Yeah, I can go find that. You guys talk about it while I go find that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's kind of interesting that this club seems to have a history of doing this, and I feel like it's just not a good look. It's not hard to make a statement, at least of just solidarity. I mean, I don't know, because the thing is, if they wanted to make a statement, I feel like they'd say something about like supporting something and then maybe stoke the flames a little bit more. But what do you think? I know you know a little bit more about where their money goes, Andrew.
Yeah, I've been working on that article all day today, so it's definitely top of my mind. But I want to just give a little bit of context. The Galaxy, I feel like, is a club that's been built by immigrants, by the immigrant community. You think about, the original 96 team with Cienfuegos, an immigrant from El Salvador. And, connecting that just personally, my dad came to the country when he was 14 years old, immigrated. He's now a legal citizen. Myself, obviously I'm a citizen. He's built a life for himself here. And, in that 96 season, he saw Cienfuegos. He felt connected to it. He became a season ticket holder. And there's so many of those stories amongst the Galaxy community and so many of us who have, invested time, invested lots of money to support this club, to travel, to buy the gear. And this team has been able to, it's built itself, I feel like, on that relationship. You go to ACB, you go to Riot Squad, half the chants are in Spanish. And all the faces you see, they're brown, most of them at least. Definitely, it's just such a beautiful palette when you go to the digs. And as a son of an immigrant, I feel at home there. I really do love it. So when you think about the human side of all these immigrants who have built up the club, who work there now, it definitely hurts to see the silence. Something that I've seen a lot on social media these days from Galaxy fans is silence is compliance. And I feel that's intentional. I think we're going to talk a little bit now about the ownership. AEG, owned by Philip Anschutz and Anschutz Corporation. Just in 2024 alone, they donated like $2.6 million to conservatives, to Republicans, to those causes. Another $830,000 in lobbying for conservative efforts, and that it's very and obviously anti-immigrant. And the hypocrisy is definitely there. The conservative values, family first, law first. But when you see what's happening, where these families are being torn apart, and we have the Marines coming illegally, ICE doing all these illegal things to deport these people, it's just hypocrisy, in the definition of the word. So when you think about the ownership of the club, Philip Anschutz, who's donated millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to these causes, it's no surprise that not just the Galaxy, but all of the teams he owns haven't made a statement. Sure, maybe they are donating something, which is admirable too. If that's money in some place. As much as he donates to conservatives, he's donating something at least to our cause. But to do so in silence is intentional. He's
doesn't make sense for me not to mention why.
Because it goes against that narrative. It goes against everything he's invested so much money into, building up at this point. So he's not going to push that narrative that goes against the president he supports. But it hurts to see. There's going to be a lot of people boycotting already. We've seen the supporter groups canceling road trips, canceling events.
Watch-alongs, the whole shebang is being canceled.
Yeah,
it definitely doesn't make you want to go to the games.
Absolutely. It sucks to see. It hurts, but I mean, that's politics, unfortunately, nowadays. But we've already talked about
that's the main thing, though, is with sport. Like, fuck politics in sport. Like, yes, you have a platform and you can say what you want to say, and you should with that platform. But at the same time, when you are such a big team, like you guys are saying, ingrained in the community, and you don't mention anything.
And there's a bunch of
look.
lines about like community growth and this type of stuff. And when communities are being ripped apart in the city that you represent, I feel like it's part of your duty to say something as just a human, and I mean, and they're not a human, it's an organization, but like from a human standpoint is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make any sense to me. From a human and business standpoint, if Anschutz wants to take it the business route, this is going to hurt his business.
We talk about all these people who aren't going to be coming, who have already decided not to support the rest of the season. It's definitely not going to make the stadium look any more full, even regardless if they win. I feel like, the people are going to remember. They're not going to forget this. So, I mean, that's Phil's call. It's his money at the end of the day, but he is also going to have to deal with the repercussions. And it sucks because we're talking, again, about decades of them fostering such a great relationship with these communities. To piss it all away like that for this type of cause that is, again, tearing apart families, it's shameful. It sucks. No other way to put it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Yeah. And obviously this is a lot more extreme, but this is not the first time that they've pissed off the fans this season. outside of just the terms of the play, the general play.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of bullshit going on with the replica rings. I know a lot of people were unhappy about that. But like Dari said, this seems like
season
a
after
common
season.
occurrence.
Also,
Common occurrence with the club.
But haven't they like not been? They didn't even give out season ticket gifts last year, did they? Or it was like a scarf or a hat or something.
I don't know. They're not doing any fan work. They're not doing any community work in the open, at least. Community work is what the fuck does it matter if it's private when you're this big platform. I don't know. We talked about it in our group chat. They're operating like a small one person with no followers that, oh, like my platform, no one cares what I say. Like I'll support from the shadows and I'll do whatever I can. Cool. If you had 50, 500,000 followers, that'd be fine. This is a big fucking organization. In like, it's supposed to be like ingrained in the community. That's a lot of the big arguments that we have with some fans online. The fans are there, the community is here, and then it's time for Galaxy to step up. And again, they've gone the wrong way. They've gone to piss us off.
Yeah,
it's not a good look for the club.
And like Dari
to
said,
have this consistent,
sense. This isn't how you build from a championship winning year. The results obviously are one thing, but just all these administrative decisions, it's not how you make people want to return to become lifelong fans. And again, just to piss away a championship year in that way, it's dumb. It's bad administration. We talk about Phil as this, oil magnate, this brilliant businessman who's done all these things, made these billions of dollars. This isn't how you run a club.
If you're a young fan too, seeing what LAFC's done to kind of voice their issue with this, and then seeing Galaxy's silence, I mean, it's not a good look at all. I mean, it's not setting us up to continue this legacy. It's hurting it.
Mm-hmm. New fans and lifelong fans alike. I feel like all of us are a little bit hurt by this. I know personally, I wouldn't make the decision to pay for tickets. I don't think I'd go to the stadium. I already have they have my money. I bought my season ticket before we even won that title. So that's that. But I mean, it's just I don't think I can support that, and there's going to be a lot of people feeling that way. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've said everything there is to say about that, but it's just it feels like the wrong way to be doing things, and the fans are going to make that heard, make that shown. They haven't been afraid to boycott in the past when we haven't liked the administration. We already see the supporters groups kind of getting together, canceling all these things. If things keep on going in this direction, it's scary times, I feel like, for Galaxy fans. Besides, obviously, scary situation that's already going on.
It's just bleak. It's just bleak in every sense.
The second we get a little bit of hope after a win, all of this is just, another kick in the dick.
Yeah.
Galaxy for you. Let's go back to footy real quick and then do our predictions, our player of the match, and then let Andrew get out of here. Andrew, do you want to start?
Yeah, predictions?
Mm-hmm. And player of the match.
Predictions, player of the match, star player. I want to see another 2-0. I want to see another clean sheet. I think Mikovic is looking strong again. Maya Yoshida should be, also another player who should have taken some time to rest. I want to see that back line looking good, looking strong. Garces, I'd love to see him back. I feel like we did miss his pace in that game against the Real Salt Lake. So I want to just see that defense continue to do its thing. I want us to continue to get lucky. But I do think that clean sheet is possible. We've proven it. And we have, Peck and Paintsel back healthy with time to rest and seemingly confident. Paintsel got that first goal. Peck had a great scrimmage. So I want to see each of them contributing a goal. So my prediction, 2-0, star player. I want to give it to Marco Royce. I feel like he's just really been this attacking engine for us. Our season feels like it changed once he fully got fit and is able to contribute. So I think that's easy one there. Marco Royce getting fit again. He's gonna, hopefully give us a show. But yeah, I really think we need a win, obviously, and I think it's a great time to get it.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with a 2-0. It'll be really nice, and I think it kind of suits us. I don't know if we want to change the way we play, but I feel like it kind of suits the road performance. Vanny knows how to play a road game in the MLS, so hopefully we can get one early, kind of weather that storm, and then just press and get another one on the counter. I'm going to go – my cat has some opinions too. I'll go with Sanabria man of the match. I think he's going to be an important key to the transitional play in this game. So I'll go with him, and then, 2-0. I think he'll get 1 assist. Let's throw that in there.
Nice. I'm going to go a little more reserved. I think 1-0. Get a goal, close up shop, take the 3 points, which I want us to do for a majority of the rest of the season. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to fucking please anyone because there's no one in the stands. Just go out there and win the games, get us the 3 points, get us our confidence back. I'm going to go Peck. I really liked what he did for Painsel's goal. I feel like that's what they've been trying to do a lot of the season. It just actually finally worked.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm hoping that can be kind of a decoy, and then he will show a little more versatility in this game, take on his guys on the wing, and then go get himself that goal finally.
Yeah, I like that take.
Hell yes. Okay. Andrew. Yeah. Plug your socials. And yeah.
We'll have a new article coming out probably more likely tomorrow. I'm going to try to get that out tonight, but we're going to be diving a lot deeper into this whole situation in Los Angeles, the Antics Corporation. They might revoke my credential, but I'm going to report what I'm going to report on. So we're going to be doing a deep dive. I feel like it's important stuff. So definitely look out for that on LA Sports Nation, weekly coverage of the Galaxy, honest coverage. So yeah, you can find that there. We're on Twitter at NGF Andrew, as you see on the screen there. Instagram, Nuestra Galaxia Futbolera. We're talking Galaxy, everything good and bad, and looking forward, hopefully just kind of praying for something better to talk about. But
for some good,
we'll be talking about it all.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Andrew.
Well,
this has been Clash of Cosmos. Almost called it Clash of Clubs.
Yeah, I heard you.
This has been Clash of Cosmos, episode 15. Hopefully the Galaxy get this win and make it 2 in a row. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
LA are the champions. They're going to go alone. Still back. What a goal. It's 6. They just cannot stop scoring. The volley from Votto. Yes. San Jose carved open with a world-class pass from Ricky Pooch.
Glittering Galaxy, and Landon Donovan is the match winner.